Hey guys, if you were watching that tuck and roll video, I promised you that I was going to show you how to make these channel tins. We use these to stuff the tuck and roll pleats with the cotton, and I actually made these out of some aluminum flashing. You can get this at your hardware store, so go pick some of that up. I'll put a link in the description below if you can't find it, and I'm going to show you how to do this, so stick around. So the first thing I did was mark out two sections that were 28 inches long by 2.5 inches wide. Okay, so the size of these channel tins are going to depend on the size of the pleat that you want to make. So if you're doing something different than the size that we did in the video, which was 2 inches, you're going to want to adjust this size bigger or smaller to fit your size pleat that you're doing. Okay, and then what I did was cut these out with my scissors. Now I know you're really not supposed to cut stuff like this with your scissors, but I did it anyways and it worked really well. So if you want to do that, go ahead. If you want to use something else, it's up to you. You want to be careful with this metal because it can be kind of sharp and it will cut you if you're not careful. Okay, and then the next thing I did was mark two fold lines 1/2 inch in from the edge, and then scribed a line. And what this is going to be is where we're going to fold these in half to give us our channels. Okay, and the next thing I did was I just found some sort of round object that I could use to put a radius on each end of these. And what this is going to do is it's going to give a nice little rounded point so that it'll help us slide this into the cover a lot easier. And we'll just cut that off like that. And then what I did was just find a piece of wood that I could bend this around, and I took our piece of aluminum and then I took my straight edge and I lined that line, that fold line that we just made, up between the piece of wood and the straight edge, and I just took some clamps and I clamped them together to my table here. And then all I did was just I started to fold this over evenly. I mean, as evenly as I could. It would be best if you had access to an actual sheet metal brake to do this, but I don't, so I just made the best thing that I could with what I had, and this seemed to work pretty good. So I just folded this over by hand as far as it'll go. It's not going to go as far as we need it to, and we're going to have to finish it up without that piece of wood after this, but this will get you a nice, pretty straight line that you wanted. All right, and now we'll flip it around and do it on the other side. The reason why we have that piece of wood there is so we can bend this other side. If we were trying to do this flat on the table, we would just bend back the piece, the side that we just bent when we clamp this to the table. All right, now I'll just bend over the other side. All right, and then after we get these edges folded over, what we're gonna do is just come back by hand, and we're slowly gonna work all of these edges in so that we get, a nice, we're looking for almost a 90-degree angle. What we want is basically, I have one that's a little bit more than 90 degree and one that's a little bit less, and this helps them go over top of each other easily, just like that. Okay, on this part it's a good idea to wear gloves, and we're just going to work this edge over a little bit more. All right, and then what I'm gonna do is just come in with some 220 sandpaper and just sand all these sharp edges so that it won't cut us while we're using these. All right, if you like that video and you want to see another one, make sure you click to your right here. And don't forget about all the courses we have available at the Lucky Needle. Click here in the corner to get more information. And don't forget to subscribe right here.